Have you ever tried to explain a big idea to your team only to have blank stares looking back at you? Maybe you've shared your vision, but it just didn't seem to stick? Well, you're not alone. Even the greatest leaders struggled with this until they discovered the power behind storytelling. Well, hey, friends. Thank you for joining in today on Leading with Bill. I'm Bill Martin, and I'm your personal leadership coach. And this is where biblical wisdom can transform your leadership approach. Today, we're diving into how Jesus used simple stories to share world changing visions and how it can do the same for you. No matter what role you play as a leader or a manager today, either casting vision or simply communicating more effectively, this principle will transform how you lead. So here's the thing about vision. It's not just about having a great idea. It's about communicating that idea in a way that makes people want to be a part of it. The best leaders know that casting a vision is like painting a picture that others can see themselves in. But here's where many of us get stuck. We focus on data, metrics, and fancy PowerPoint slides when what people really need is a story they can connect with. So don't get me wrong, I enjoy diving into data and analysis. It's one of my main strengths from the Maxwell DISC assessment. I mean, I've never met an Excel spreadsheet that I didn't love. But in full transparency, this topic of powerful communications and using storytelling is an area of growth for me. I see that I need to convey a compelling story and message that really connects with my team. Now, in the comments below, share about a leader you've had that could communicate a compelling vision using stories. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're finding value in today's leadership topic, I invite you to hit like and subscribe. As we look into the Bible regarding this topic, we're going to look in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 13. We see Jesus doing something fascinating. He's trying to explain something incredibly complex, the kingdom of heaven. But instead of giving a theological lecture, what does he do? He tells stories about everyday things people understood. He talks about a farmer scattering seed, how a mustard seed grows into a massive tree, yeast working through dough. Let's read together through one of these examples in Matthew chapter 13, verses 31 and 32. He told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his field. Though it is the smallest of all seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds come and perch in its branches. And what a beautiful picture of the kingdom of heaven. Now, Jesus knew that these simple stories would stick in people's minds even after the crowd went home. So he wasn't just sharing information, he was painting pictures that transformed hearts and minds. So, how do we apply this today? Well, instead of saying, we need to increase customer satisfaction by 25%, tell a story about a customer whose life was changed by your product or service. Rather than saying, we need better teamwork, share an example of when collaboration led to an unexpected win. So here's a simple formula that I recommend that you can use. First, start with what people know. Second is connect it to what you want them to understand. Third, make it personal and relatable. And fourth, show the transformation. So let me share a story from my experience on how this formula plays out. So several years ago, a leader I worked with proposed a new career development program to an executive team. Now, he had implemented this at his prior company, and instead of starting with the design and the benefits and the procedures, he shared a story about Jessica. Now, Jessica was a team member who had made an unintended mistake in her work. Unfortunately, this error had a negative impact on her team's results. And Jessica felt terrible and thought this would be career limiting for her. Well, through this career development program, there was an emphasis on employee coaching. Now, this leader explained to the executive team how he worked closely with Jessica as she discovered resources to focus on her growth and felt supported. Now, after creating a development plan through this program, Jessica gained confidence and became one of the top performers. Jessica's story is one that can play out here as well. He then continued with the rest of his proposal. Now, what I love about this is that the story did more than just any PowerPoint presentation ever could. Why? Because every person in that room could see themselves in Jessica's story. The vision became personal. So this week, I challenge you to try this approach. First, think about the next big idea that you need to communicate. Second is find a simple, relatable story that captures its essence. Practice telling this story in under 2 minutes. And fourth, share it with someone and watch how they respond. Remember, Jesus could have used any method to share his vision, but he chose stories. As leaders, I think we'd be wise to follow his example. Now, a question for you. Are you currently a leader or a manager, but you want to be a better leader? Well, perhaps you want to move from being a manager to a leader, but you're not sure where to start. Or maybe you're looking to take an intentional step in your growth and development. Well, if so, I have available for you a free resource. It's a values-based leadership assessment. Now, what is this? Well, our values are personal and core to who we are and how we live. Identifying and understanding our values is foundational to discovering that we are made on purpose and for a purpose. So just click on the link in the description below. I'd love to share it with you. Friends, I'm thankful for you and that you joined in today on Leading with Bill. Remember, trust in the Lord with all your heart. We'll see you next time.